Welcome to the Family Law Growth Podcast. We interview the nation's fastest growing family law firms to get insights on what is working today. We leave no stone unturned, from intake to the biggest mistakes they've made while scaling to multi-7 figures and 8 figures. I'm your host, Elliot, co-founder of Empirical 360. Let's dive into the episode. All right, so welcome to the Family Law Growth Podcast. My name is Elliot. I am your host, and your co-host is the other co-founder of Empirical 360,
Erik.
All right, so Erik and I are brothers, if you can't tell. So today what we want to do is we want to do fun with founders. This is going to be an extremely tactical episode for our family law firms out there. So first, I'm going to hit you with some really cool stats. So first, what we're going to get into is what the heck should you focus on when it comes to growing your family law firm? There are millions of options out there. What are some options that family law firms can do to grow their firm?
I really think we should be focused on ChatGPT.
All right, I like ChatGPT. What else we got?
Social media. I heard Reddit's doing well. Snapchat leads, Google ads, getting expensive.
All right, so we're hearing some more options. Give me more.
Intaker.
Intaker's cool.
Brand new website. Let's just redo it.
Exactly. So you probably had these thoughts where you have all these things you could do and you don't know what to do. And so one of the most useful definitions we have of strategy is what to do with our limited resources, right? How do we allocate
against unlimited options?
All right, I messed it up. How do we allocate our limited resources against unlimited options? There's millions of things that Erik just listed out that we could do to grow our firm. How do we approach the week or the day in allocating your time and money to fixing your firm? So I'm going to hit you with some cool stats here, and then we're gonna do some fun stuff. We're actually going to secret shop some family law firms, so it's going to be a fun episode.
Stay tuned.
So here are some fun stats that Erik actually pulled. What are these stats?
So the average time someone watches one of your video ads, what's your guess?
I would hope at least 30 seconds. I got a lot of good stuff to say.
1 to 5 seconds. We've been there. Doom scrolling, viewing each video one time. Think about how much time, Elliot, you've put into your website, looking at the content, checking out the case studies at the bottom of the site, the resources pages, all the time developing that site. Guess how much time the average visitor spends on your website if you were a family law firm?
I'd hope at least 5 minutes.
43 seconds.
Ouch, that hurts.
Get there, find the phone number, give you a call. It's pretty much what they're doing. Guess how much time someone spends on the phone with your intake service or with your intake team internally?
I'd guess at least 5 minutes.
5 minutes, accurate. It's a little over 6 minutes, 6 minutes, 15 seconds. And then guess how much time they spend with either the attorney team or the non-attorney sales team that's actually pitching the consults.
That, I think, is probably 45 minutes.
Yep, 30 to 45 minutes.
Okay, so what's crazy about that is we just heard some serious stats. What is it for video?
1 to 5 seconds.
1 to 5 seconds on social media videos. Now, obviously, those are valuable and they get leads, but how much time, energy, resources, money do you put into your videos? Probably a lot, and they're important. The next one is what blows me away. The website was how much?
43 seconds.
So I know some family law firms out there that have literally spent $50,000 to $100,000 on their website. And people
That's not even including the content that they add to the site monthly.
Yeah. So, I mean, the cost for a website is insane, right? If you're hiring a custom dev team to do it, and your people are spending 43 seconds on that thing, and you're giving that so much thought, so much energy. And then intake, 6 minutes. So that's 5-6 times higher than your website. How much money are you spending on intake? And then you have your case evaluations. Who's doing your sales? Who is the front door of your law firm that represents you and how good you are to the public? So for today's episode, what we're going to do is we're going to focus on one of the components of your acquisition process that is probably the weakest, because most firms, no pun intended here, phone in their intake system. They have terrible people answering the phones, and they have no idea how bad it sounds to them. So we're going to do a fun mock interview here. When we onboard our clients, generally this is how it goes. I say, Erik, who's your best client? Who are the people you're trying to attract?
We're typically looking for high net worth individuals, people earning over 6 figures, have multiple retirement accounts, ideally 1 to 2 properties, and really is looking for an amicable split.
So you're looking for really reasonable people, well-to-do people, have money, have a business, probably kind of picky in the things that they
Very
choose.
picky. That they appreciate a luxury service is something we hear frequently.
Okay, so really, I don't want to say high end because that's not like your ultra high net worth people, but people who are going to be particular about the firm they choose.
Exactly.
And then tell me about what makes you unique as a lawyer. How good are you, pretty much?
Do you want the answer we get most of the time?
No, I want the drummed up, crazy answer that a lot of our clients actually are, how good they are.
I mean, typically the things we'll hear all the time is usually the founder or one of the attorneys at the firm is board certified. Usually they'll have some sort of process to speed along the case. In addition to that, they'll talk about their years of experience, their awards, if they're on the collaborative team, the specialists that they work with. So we hear a bunch of things that are just all about experience, how good they are, and all those kind of things.
And so here's the super frustrating part. We know that you as a family law firm
and one
owner-
thing I forgot, because this is important for the calls, is they'll also talk about sometimes experience in their office. Like we have this amazing office, front desk staff, nice sign, drinks, all this whole Ritz-Carlton almost experience when they come into the office with our team.
Exactly, right? So they put a ton of time into their education. Board certification is not easy. They're guardian ad litems, they're mediators, they're certified in XYZ. They do all these crazy things to drum up the prestige, and they know they're the best, right? Hopefully, as a family law firm, like you know you're the best and you're the best for your clients. But what happens is when that well-to-do business owner or picky person picks up the phone and they call, what do they get? And you could do this yourself. You can call your firm right now and see, just simply ask yourself, are you proud of what your firm is sounding like and looking like to the outside?
And don't answer that question with an assumption that, yeah, I love our intake team. I love our third-party service. Go listen to recordings, go call, go find out.
So what we're going to do is we're going to do something fun now. We're going to listen to
Google high net worth divorce lawyers in
even
Tampa.
better. All right, I'm going to Google high net worth. Now we're going to blank out the firm names so we don't get in trouble here. I'm not clicking any ads either. I'm not a monster. I will not charge people that much money. So we're going to call this firm. So they are premier family law firms. And I can call to schedule a consultation. Now, what I'm going to do when I call, I'm going to do a couple things. Number one, I'm going to call and I'm going to test them for a few things. I'm going to test them for empathy. I'm going to test them to see if they drop a price, because at this point they've built zero value in the first minute of this call, and see if they scare me off with the price. And then I'm going to see if they actually go through and book the appointment. Fun fact, we've done this for, at this point, hundreds of firms. And when we do this as like a professional audit, what we have found is firms usually score an F because they just refuse to book the appointment. Like 9 times out of 10, the appointment doesn't get booked, right? And when you fix your intake rates, it can have dramatic effects on your business. I have seen firms literally 5x by fixing this one thing. So this could be the most valuable thing you do all week. So we're going to call, and I'm going to pretend to be one of my divorce alter egos.
Hi, thank you for calling. If you know your party's extension, please press it now. For a dial by name directory, please press 9. If you are a new client, please press 1.
Hate that already.
Thank you for calling. With new inquiry, please hold for the next available agent.
I like it. Hey, I was just calling to get some information on divorce. I actually found out that my wife is cheating on me, which is literally unreal. And I was just calling to get like pricing. What do you guys charge for a divorce?
Yeah, so usually the process starts with a consultation. We charge a $200 flat fee for that. And that's just for the attorney, to understand what's going on, give you the course of actions that you can take. For divorces itself, it will vary on a case by case. If it's a more complex, or if, it's a simplified divorce. Usually if you have minor children, we're unable in sort of to do a simplified version, but it can go anywhere around $5,000. It goes off of a billable hour rate, just so you have that in mind, of $500 an hour, which is what the attorneys charge. So any retainer, the attorneys will be billing against that initial amount based on $500 an hour, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. All right. I'll give you a call back. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Have a good one.
All right. So we're going to grade this call here. What'd you think?
Didn't fail. They answer the phone, which is better than most. They answer the phone. She sounded friendly and she laughed a little bit. So she wasn't, she seemed like she may have actually been an internal person.
Yeah, definitely internal, I would say.
And she
'cause
understood divorce, but no relationship built, didn't ask you any questions, and probably didn't even mark anything in the CRM because she didn't get your name, your email, can't follow up with you, can't text you. Give an F.
Yeah. So and here's actually a number for you. Firms that do paid consults like that, if they deliver the price that fast, they're probably booking internet leads lower than 10%. The KPI to be successful on a paid consult is 30%. So right off the bat, they're going to have a hard time growing their firm. The only people that are going to pay that fee are going to be referrals. And if you feel like you're doing paid consults, you're making it work, you probably get a lot of referrals. So kudos to you. So the things that I hated about that call, I'll just break it down from the start, is I don't like the dial by directory and the amount of time it took to get to a live person, because some people get impatient. After about 20 to 30 seconds, they just hang up. Think about paying $100 to $150 for that lead. You just burned $100, a steak dinner, right? So that I think could be better. She was super friendly. I thought she was very nice.
She did well.
What I didn't like is she dropped that price in the first 30 seconds. And now as a consumer, I am shopping on price, not on value. She didn't build any value. Now, she gave me good information, but she dropped a $5,000 retainer. And as a layperson, I don't know if that's going to be the whole divorce cost or the initial retainer. I'm going to, in my mind, think that's what the whole thing's going to cost. So she's already turned me into a potential problem. And then she said a $500 hourly rate. And that sounds like a lot to anybody. They don't know how to benchmark that. Most people actually, what we have found, don't understand the hourly rate as much as they shop on the initial retainer price. That's all stuff that you want to discuss down the line in the sales consult or on the onboarding, right, for billing structure. So she hit me with all kinds of scary numbers in the first 30 seconds. And if this is happening in your firm, you probably get a lot of I'll call you backs.
Or you get a lot of the leads, nobody can afford the consult.
Yeah. So again, it's like running into a brick wall. Think about this. If you went to a car dealership and they asked you to give them $100 to test drive that car, are you going to test drive it? No way. You're going to the next dealership, right? And unfortunately, in today's world,
going into the car dealership. Imagine calling the car dealership and them telling you if you want to come in to test drive a car, it's $200. You're just going to call the next dealership.
Good point. So let's call somebody else. Actually, these people are known as the go-to in the area for high net worth divorce.
On this one, though, Elliot, special request, can you ask if they have experience with high net worth divorces?
Ooh. All right. Oh, and that girl didn't show any empathy. I said my wife cheated on me.
Yeah, well, your bite isn't bad.
Good afternoon. Thank you for calling. How may I help you?
Yeah, hi. I got served papers, and I'm like blown away, honestly. But anyway, I've been looking for a firm because I own a couple businesses, and I just wanted to see, do you guys do divorces where there's businesses involved, and then how much do you guys charge?
It depends on our attorneys. So we have consult fees for our partners that start at $850 for an hour and a half. That's over the phone, in person, or via Zoom. We also have our associates that are anywhere from $450 up to $650. That's just for the consultation. So it depends on the matter and exactly how long it'll take. I can give you my intake person if you're still interested. A lot of people want free consults, and unfortunately, we don't offer free consults. So if you're still interested, I can transfer you to my intake person, and she'll get together some information from you to determine if this is something we're going to be able to help you with.
Okay. For now, I'll keep you guys in mind. Otherwise,
Okay.
I really appreciate it.
No problem, dear. Call us back anytime, okay?
Thanks.
Dear, she liked you at least.
Yes, I feel nice about that. So she was nice. But what I felt on that call, number one, she missed on the empathy again. I said, I'm so confused. My wife served me papers like, oh my gosh, I know this is a tough time, but you picked up the phone, you took the first step. And I've been served papers, which means I have to respond at a certain time depending on your state. So I'm a pretty good lead. And I own multiple businesses. Like, that's about as good as the lead gets. They have urgency and they own businesses. They have money. It could get better than that, but I don't know what the heck kind of leads you're getting, right?
It's our avatar.
Yeah. So that's that was your avatar, right? And so what I liked about it was she was at least nice. She missed on the empathy. What else did she blow it on?
She didn't answer your question. I'm looking for someone who specializes in businesses and high net worth divorces, and she just jumped right to $850.
Yep.
I
And
thought you maybe meant $8.50. I haven't heard a consult.
that's
fee
a pretty expensive
$850.
consult. And the other thing too, right? So if you've ever been to Costco, Costco has 2 things that they sell per category. Costco's brand, name brand. They don't give you a ton of choices because it confuses the end user. And what she just presented me there with was $850 for the managing partners, $450, $600, and it kind of depends. And then she's like, "You sure you want to do this, buddy?"
Yeah, and I don't know if I want you to waste the time of our intake person.
Yeah, you sure you want to go to intake, because like we don't do free stuff here.
Yeah.
And so it was just kind of like not a very welcoming experience, especially in a time where I probably thought about this call all day, maybe for the past week. It's the worst moment of my life, and that's what I ran into, right? So pretty brutal, and you're right, she didn't address.
Can you walk me through, can I ask you the questions you asked her, how you would respond?
Sure, a little role play, put me on the spot.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, so I've been served some papers, and I'm honestly just blown away, but
Let's go back. Do the ring, ring, ring.
ring, ring, ring.
Thank you for calling Elliot Lisa Law Firm. How can I help you?
Yeah, so I was served with some papers, and honestly, I'm just blown away. So overall, I own multiple businesses, and I just want to know if you all handle that and like what the average cost for.
Absolutely. First of all, I am super sorry that you're going through this. I know it could be really tough, and that's exactly what we do here. And so, yes, we do actually help people going through divorce that own multiple businesses. So the first thing I want to do is set you up with a 45-minute case evaluation with a member of our staff. Before I do that, I just need to collect some basic information. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, cool. I collect all the information I need, name, email, blah, 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 blah. So actually, I have an opening today at 2 p.m. with Erik. He's actually amazing. He talks to all of our new clients, and he's actually been divorced himself. So you're in good hands. Does that work for you?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Great. So I'm going to go ahead and send this invite over. It's going to be over Zoom if that works. And what I want you to do is make sure you download the Zoom app, be somewhere quiet so you can ask all your questions, and then just get ready to understand how we work with clients and what the next steps could look like.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, I winged that. I didn't follow an outline. I would normally have an outline. I'd have a script, whatever, but you get the idea. Much more welcoming. I set the tone. I got the information. I set the appointment. I told him how to show up to the appointment. If it was in person, I'd tell him how to get there, how to drive, blah, blah, blah. Right, so significantly better than what we just heard.
And not difficult. You didn't understand. You didn't talk about how attorneys bill.
Yep.
Set up at the firm. You just acknowledged my question and then went to the next step.
Most of the time, the best practice here is don't say we charge $500 an hour. That doesn't mean anything to anyone, right?
Also, they don't understand that you have paralegals, other legal staff that bill that reduce the cost of divorce. So not every email and phone call is going to be $500 an hour.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
So again, it just scares the crap out of people. I talked to a firm yesterday and they were like, look, this divorce could cost you $5,000 and cost you $500,000. And I compared it to a bad bedside manner of a doctor of like, look, you sure you want this surgery? You could die. I mean, obviously you have to say that, but there's a way to say it, of course, right? You don't want to hide the ball or anything like that, but you want to do the best you can to bring them in and give them the service that they need.
Think about the Apple Store experience. They don't, as soon as you walk in there, someone's like, hey, before I let you in, it's $500 for an iPad.
Yeah. Repelling.
Which one do you want to try? Go find out the value of the iPad and then go pick the one you want and then accidentally spend like $3,000 in the Apple Store.
Yeah, happened to me. So anyway, you get the idea, right? Hopefully this was helpful for you to hear and understand. Intake is probably one of the biggest levers in your firm because generally what happens is if you're doing what we just heard, you're talking to maybe 10% of your leads. So think about that. Whatever you're getting now, you could probably get a 5 or a 6X.
Yeah. One of the people that we've talked with, a coach, he said that picture your law firm as a storefront. Like, what does it look like? What does it feel like? What do the people in there talk like? And then does your intake company reflect that storefront? And this is their first actual interaction with the firm. First impressions are everything. Intake is the first impression with the firm outside of their digital experience, which we know they could have watched a video for 1 to 5 seconds, been on your website for 40 seconds, calling. Now they're on the phone with you for 6 minutes. That's the time.
Well, and what's killer about that too is we didn't even hear this. We didn't hear missed calls. So first of all, you can't even answer the phone. Are you going to be able to take my case? And then I almost think it could be more damaging than a missed call. Maybe not, is somebody who does not sound sophisticated. There's noise in the background. There's hammering. They're barely paying attention. There's a dog barking, which we have heard all of these, by the way. So again, intake can be really great or it could be really damaging. Any last words of encouragement?
When people like the firms we've called have that bad of an intake or intake that repels visitors that much, most of the time when they fixed that, their law firm, the growth explodes. I've seen firms not just double, but 5x by just fixing their intake after listening to calls just like that. So if that is your intake, I would probably be thrilled, because if you're sitting on a $1 million firm and that's your intake, you are actually sitting on a $4 to $5 million firm. Just fix that.
Insanity. Well, hopefully this was helpful for you guys. Again, tune in to the Family Law Growth Podcast. We're going to do more founder fun and then episodes with the largest family law firms across the country. See you next time.